Hi, I'm Scott McLeod, and I want to share a great personal and professional disappointment that I endured a few years ago. I spent 31 years in the Army, really had a very successful career. Towards the end of my career, I was told that I'd be promoted, was expecting to become a general officer. Spent 18 months going through a Senate confirmation process, was voted on by the U.S. Senate, and really thought that my career would culminate with a general officer assignment. But that wasn't going to be the plan. And at the 11th hour, unbeknownst to me, I was not promoted, and my career ended, and I retired. It was really one of the most difficult things that I ever endured. Felt a little bit of betrayal, felt great disappointment, a lot of uncertainty. But God really did take me through that situation, and He taught me several things while I walked through it. To be honest, the first is that sometimes our disappointments don't last just for weeks or months. It's taken me years to process and get through that. I retired just over 5 years ago, and some days I still struggle with that. But I also learned that many men and women at the height of their professional careers have experienced something very similar. Maybe they didn't get the promotion, maybe they felt betrayed. And as I worked among trusted believers and friends, I found that story was actually quite common. It's pretty normal during a lifetime to suffer a severe disappointment like that. But I fasted during that time, and on the last night of my fast, God spoke to me through His Word, and used the story of Abram when he left Ur of the Chaldees to set off for God's promised land. And that was special to me because I had been in Ur of the Chaldees. I had been in what is now modern-day Talil, which is in southern Iraq. I had walked some of the same ground where Abram walked. And God reminded me that Abram had to leave the land of his fathers. He had to leave that place of comfort. And the Lord spoke to me and said, Scott, I've got something for you, but you're going to have to let go of the army. That was really amazing to me. And it just reminded me that even in our most difficult moments, even if we think we're being treated unfairly, we have the hope of hearing from our Father in heaven, who has planned out our days and has special things for us. And so He told me that, and He also revealed to me that it might take a while for me to get to that place that He had called me to. And that again was similar to the story of Abram, that he left with his father, Terah. They went up to a place called Haran. They stayed there for quite a while, and eventually his father would die, and then they would go into the promised land. The Lord revealed to me that, hey, this may take a while. And that's pretty much been the way it's looked for me. And I would tell you I'm still waiting for exactly whatever the Lord has called me to. But I would want to share with you that when you go through those tough times, the first is to know that others have done it too, so reach out to trusted men and women who can help coach you through it. The second is to really seek out God's voice. I absolutely believe that our Father in heaven wants to communicate with us, that He wants to tell us things. Sometimes it takes a time of fasting or prayer and true seeking. But had it not been for His promise and speaking to me that night of that fast, I'm not sure I could have endured the last 5 or 6 years questioning what happened at the end of my military career. So it was tough. I didn't like it, but I have the promise of my Father, knowing that He's got something really incredible for me and my family, and He is trustworthy. I'm still waiting and still walking with Him, waiting to see where He takes us. And I think it's going to be phenomenal when we get there. So thanks for hearing the story. And if you're walking through one of those times, seek out the voice of the Father. And I'm confident that He will speak to you like He spoke to me.